Beyond Cataclysm, your favourite friendly online RPG, fiction, publisher, mini store, whatever you would like to call it. Today we are talking about the amazing Lancer. And I have a copy here, a bit bigger than that one. So this is Lancer, and I mean the artwork on it is just fantastic. Have a look at this. I mean, it is just beautiful. I'm actually not hugely into anime and like manga and all of that stuff, but this, I mean, I just want to play this game just from looking at the front cover. The back cover's got cool stuff too, and describes it pretty incredibly. Like, this is a mud and lasers tabletop role-playing game of modular mechs and the pilots that crew them. Shall we take a quick look inside? So as we look inside, so first of all, the thing that strikes me, apart from some pretty stunning visual design, is again lots of very, very pretty bits. I mean, just look at these chapter covers here. Oh, so pretty. So, I mean, there we go. We don't need to say any more about it. You should buy a copy and check it out. So that's number one, I'd say. The art is exemplary in this thing. So I think you're going to be want to picking it up. Two, I think you are going to want to get this because of the world building. It is 5016 U, and the galaxy is home to trillions. At the core of humanity's territory, there is a golden age. But outside of this newly won utopia, the revolutionary project continues. You are a Lancer, an exceptional mech pilot amongst already exceptional peers, and you live at a time when the future hangs as a spinning coin at the apex of its toss. The fall is coming, and how the coin lands is yet to be determined. Reading through this book, again, and like all good roleplay setting books, it just makes you want to play the game. Okay, the world that is painted here is one with bad stuff happening, but also vast aspects to it as well. The entirety of section 6, this last chunk of the book, is on content, discomfort and Lancer, and just covers the history of union. It covers the idea of violence, why we still fight. It covers conflict, both sort of how it happened in the past, ideology, and it's just full of these beautiful emotive pictures. And I mean, it's just such a good read. I would say the world building is amazing, and you can deep dive into that as well. If you join the Lancer Discord, there's a huge amount of information on there, and it's one of the biggest, most thriving Discords I've been on. I think it's got like, I want to say like 10 to 20,000. The Lancer itself funded on Kickstarter a couple of years ago, I think, and it raised £432,000. So that's quite a lot of money for a role-play game project, and I think it's shown in just how cool this book is. So when you're creating your character, so it breaks things a little bit into, you've got a pilot, and then you've got your mech itself. So you're a Lancer, and it gives you just it gives you just enough sort of background here. Say you're a celebrity, you know, it gives you a little bit of a shape for your character. But then what it also does is it gives you lots of questions. You know, let's choose one. Oh, where's a D20? I don't have a D20, which is rubbish. I'm sure I've got boxes full of them. In fact, what's this? I've literally got a box full of dice here, but I don't have a D20 on me, so I'm just going to make up a number 9. Okay, so you are an NHP specialist. Now that is interesting. So NHP stands for non-human person. So that's their way of dealing with the idea of AI and sentience, and also thinking about like rights, which is cool, you know. So robots, if they're sentient, well, they're non-human persons, which I like a lot. So you're an NHS, force of habit there, NHP specialist. You were closely involved in the study, creation or maintenance of a prime non-human person. As a prime NHP, the one you were associated was more complex than most. And then it asks you questions. How did you interact with it? Were you like a scientist or an engineer, more like a priest or a shaman? Do you have a personal connection to them after all this time? How do clones of it perceive you? And now you're a pilot. How do you feel about non-human intelligence? Because of course in this game you may end up fighting non-human intelligence. And so when you're building your pilot, you've got a whole list of stats and styles and skills that you can pick up. You've got tags for your name, and you've got different things that you can add in, like specific pilot gear that you can put in that allows you to really build your character outside of the mech for when the game you're playing is in the kind of the non-combat mode. There we go. So building your pilot is number 2 on... Oh, number 3? I've run out of... Number 3, building your pilot is the other reason I think you should get this. Number 4, and I think really this is why you get a game about mech combat, building your mech. So when you're building your mech, you've got 4 main kind of mech skills that represent your mech. You've got hull, agility, systems, and engineering. And it might sound quite simple, and I think there's a way of playing this game quite simply, but it's also a game that you can get really crunchy with if you want to. So you can build the perfect mech. You can put together all the bits and pieces you want, and I'll just flick you through here, and you can see. So we've got an example of creation here with your hit points and all of the different bits. You've got your heat cap, which is when you're firing stuff and your guns and your engines are getting hot and your reactors having to work hard. At a point, you're going to be unable to dissipate that heat, and that's going to cause you problems. It's going to cause you heat damage. It's going to cause things to stop working or lock up or blow up. And so yeah, like as you're building, so you start with a standard mech. There you go. So you start with a standard mech. I've already got the ribbon in place on that one. A standard mech, the GMS Standard Pattern Everest. And so you start with this mech, and it's quite simple. You know, it's a size 1. It's one to start with, but you can see you've got these main mounts. You've got mounts. You've got a main mount, a flex mount, and a heavy mount. And that enables you to build the mech that you want. That enables you to chuck the bits in that you need. I'm going to skip now to the list of cool things you can add in. So you've got this list here of all the cool things you can add in, like and GMS stands for General Massive Systems, which is just a great name. And it's the galactic standard supplier of just about everything. So weapons have a size: auxiliary, main, heavy, and super heavy, and you have to fit them into the amount of the right size or smaller. So you're limited. So you can't fill up your machine with a load of super heavy weapons. And then yeah, there's just such a range. And as you go through and as you start to upgrade your license, so you start at license level 0, I think. And there's no money in this game. It's all about how trained you are. Unlocks how much stuff you can build, and then you can start moving into other manufacturers. So we've got IPS here with a very kind of a, you know, sort of Soviet Union inspired kind of color scheme on that screen, and you've got IPS North Sea, your friend in an unfriendly sea. But as you go through these awesome looking mechs, each of them's got kind of custom ideas, like the chain axe or the bristle crown flechette launcher, which sounds devastating to biological targets. And there is just so many options, but at the same time I feel like not an overwhelming number either. You know, if I look at this Tortuga, it's only got sort of 5 or 6 specific custom options for it, which isn't too much, I don't think. So we've got how pretty it is, we've got the world building, we've got building your pilot, we've got building your mech. And then I think finally I would have the gameplay. And now the gameplay is not simple. I mean, in a way, it is. Here's 3 pages, page 10 to 12, that describe how to play the game. But then actually it breaks it down nicely into chunks. And you've got your narrative play that's the stuff that happens outside of combat. And then you've got your mech combat. And it takes you through systematically how to do it. Don't get me wrong, this is a crunchy game. This is a game where you're going to be tactically outmaneuvering each other. But it's also a game designed to play together. So you've got these different styles of play. You've got... And each mech has got, you know, there might be a defender or a striker, and they're designed to work together. And part of the game is planning that together, you know. But you've got this whole narrative section where it's not just a completely dry game of robots hitting each other. It's got heart as well, and that is more than visible in the settings section at the back. And so it takes you through how to do narrative play, which is when you're not in your mechs, and how to do mech combat play. And everything comes down to D20s and D6s. So it's a simple game in some ways. I wouldn't say it's simple. This is a bit of a beast, but it is a game that you can get your head around quite quickly. And it's a game that's epic. I think epic on a scale that this cover absolutely represents. So there we go. That is Lancer. I would recommend you do two things. First of all, go and buy a copy from beyondcataclysm.co.uk, the website here. And number two, I would join the Lancer Discord. I'll put a link I'll put a link in the entry on our website and on the bottom of the YouTube video here. But for now, that's everything. Have a look through. If you see us at a stall anytime soon, we will have them there. You can take a look. And I think at this moment we're one of the only people in the UK to be stocking them. So it would be awesome to sell you a copy. Thanks very much.